is time, friends. He is here. Spawn has finally arrived with his gameplay trailer from Final Kombat, and whew, was it a doozy. So we spent the week going over our wants and desires from Spawn. We had the community weigh in on that. We also were talking about what could actually possibly ruin the character, and I was going into this expecting to at least see some of those things in there, because I've never seen an actual perfect iteration of the character. I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the trailer together. I've already seen it. Most of you have, since it came out last night. But what I want to do is I want to break it down while we're going through it. And I also want to just talk about some of the things that we noted and mentioned earlier in the week, those that came to fruition and those that we might still be waiting for. And let's just jump into that right now and we'll talk about it.
Together, we can purge the 10 hells.
Only if you follow my lead.
All due respect, that's not in the cards.
Fight! Fatality. Spawn wins.
The first thing I want to say is that opening sequence when he's in the graveyard with the thunder and the lightning is amazing. That looks like it's ripped straight out of the HBO animated series. I was really pleasantly impressed with his intros and his dialogue and stuff like that. That's just off the bat the first things that I realized about the character. His suit looks great. They gave it more of a movie quality look than usually envisioned in the comics, but we're not going to go over that because there's actually some more costumes that we see in the video itself, and they cover I want to say a larger variety of what we were talking about earlier. So the black costume is awesome. I love the way it looks, and the first thing we see is him using his cape to kind of jab or punch, and then he immediately uses his chains and immediately goes into using a machine gun. So right there, almost every base was covered with what we expected the character to use, or what we all hoped from the character to see. So we actually see him using green energy later on, even in combination with chains at some points. So, and a transformation, he turns invisible. He warps reality when he jumps in the air and makes the machine guns appear from his cape. So they literally use almost every aspect of his powers, and I was really happy that he's so well versed, and he actually has like a lot of his actual traditional weaponry and styles than something we've seen in like maybe Soul Calibur or something like that. But I was really happy with that. The first costume that we see is Commando Spawn. This is directly from the comics. It's pretty much when Al Simmons finds out that like when he uses his powers, he will return to hell and have to serve Malebolgia as the general of his armies. So he wants to utilize actual mercenary gear so that he can prolong his life on Earth, because he wants to see Wanda and Cyan, his wife and daughter. That's like pretty much the only reason why he's there. So we see like the cool cloak shrouded around. It's pretty much like the spiky parts are shrouded around him to kind of make a mask. And then, of course, he's got the weaponry like all throughout his body. That's actually a really cool costume for him. But the second one I'm a little bit more excited for. That's the blue and red costume is the version that we see of Spawn before his costume transforms in the comics. This is the first iteration of the character as he appears in issues 1 through, I believe, 30, before he transforms and gets like the big bulky leg and stuff like that. But this costume is probably one of my more favorite versions of the character. It's very streamlined. It's not as like symbiotic or movie quality-esque that the other one is. It's more comic booky, which I kind of appreciate. We do see him gliding and flying with the cape, so we are happy that his cape is used for a lot more. We also see him walking towards the characters and utilizing more different ways of using machine guns, uses energy blasts. Even the way he does his finisher at the end is just like amazing. I just want to talk about some things that like we still didn't see from the character for a second. I didn't see anything from Medieval Spawn. Actually, we saw him use his weapons very little in the trailer. He uses his spiked club, which he does use when he first shows up. He uses the sword that he's seen within the action figure, and a few other weapons. But like he uses them like in conjunction, like together. So I'm not sure if you're actually choosing a weapon or if those are just moves that he uses where he actually just utilizes those weapons. So that's more that we have to find out, and I guess we'll see next week when he actually comes out on Tuesday, on the 17th for early access, 24th for those of you who didn't pre-order the season pass. But at the end of the trailer, there's some interesting things that we see as well. There is a matinee skin pack, which looks like Aaron Black is Indiana Jones, Nightwolf is Conan the Barbarian, and I don't know what Jackie Briggs is supposed to be from. It's a little too generic for me to guess. It looks like Alien. If I'm going to guess, I think it's the Ridley from Alien. That's what it looks like. But I don't know. If I'm wrong about that, someone correct me in the comment section down below. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And then we see another early access costume that looks like it's coming alongside of Spawn. We have Hellspawn Jackie. So we have Jackie Briggs with a Spawn costume. I think this is the closest they were trying to get the She-Spawn that they could. She-Spawn actually looks a lot different in the comics than she does that you would think she would do. It's not just like the symbiote like Spawn. Most of the symbiotes actually like match their wielder, and they kind of take on appearances based on the desires of the person using them. This is a really cool costume though, so it's nice to see a female Spawn version in the actual game. So I'm definitely not going to complain about that. There's not much else that I want to say about the character at this time, because I'm going to withhold any more opinions until I actually get my hands on the character on the 17th and play him to make a video for you guys. But how did you feel about it? In the comment section down below, let me know what you actually felt about the trailer. Do you think there's some things that were missing? What about Medieval Spawn? We didn't see him show up, and I'm pretty sure that we thought he was going to be a shoo-in. But possibly, maybe he's not an alternate, but maybe he's some armored parts for changing his mask and stuff like that. Especially since we see the blue and red costume for the original version, so maybe that's like an alternate for the blue and red version. We also have, Spawn's used a lot of suits throughout the ages, but I think we pretty much got a good selection of what we saw from the actual trailer itself. We also didn't get to see, like, meathead spawn or, like, damage spawn, so I don't know, like, what if they're going to go with that, or they're going to go with the split-in-half shoestring face spawn, or just the regular meathead, or is that even not in the game? I'm not sure. Who's to say? So we're going to bring the video to a close right now. I just want to continue the conversation in the comment section down below and turn it over to you guys. Let me know what your favorite aspects of the character that you've seen thus far. Do you have any more expectations of him? What about the extra bonus content, like the costumes, the matinee pack, and stuff like that? Are you happy with that, or did you expect something else? And I guess we're going to come back to this later after I actually get hands-on with the character, or if I find out more information, obviously, I'll bring it to you guys as soon as I can. That's going to be it today, and as always, guys, peace.